Greetings, students. My name is Robert Kennedy. I'm going to be your history instructor for the spring semester 2025. It is going, right? Um, just to let you know, I'm sending this out via Pronto before the semester, and there'll be some questions to respond to that you can send to me. If you do that prior to the semester starting this Tuesday, you'll be exempt from the orientation exam. If not, no big deal. You can view the orientation exam. There'll be an assignment associated with that, an interactive video, and then you will go from there. But let us begin right now by opening up the course, and here we go. So the first thing I need to introduce you to in this course is that, as you see here, the grades in this course are what are referred to as bundled. So let's take a look at that. So this, as it refers here, I'm going to send all of this, these links that I'm going to be popping up to you within the video as well. So this course will be using a bundle-based learning approach that allows you to master key historical concepts at your own pace with certain conditions. Pay attention to certain conditions, and I'll talk about those in just a second, while maintaining high academic standards, right? You're in college, so we have high academic standards, rather than traditional letter grades for individual assignments. So there are individual assignments. I'll point that out later, but again, they are bundled. You'll work through them through themed bundled covering major periods in American history. So this course from Reconstruction through the Vietnam War. We stop at the Vietnam War, and I'll explain probably throughout the course why. The grading system emphasizes both consistency and mastery. Each bundle represents a significant era in American history and includes multiple components: primary source analysis, historical arguments, practical applications, and historical thinking skills, right? That's abstractly, that's what we're getting at here. So we're not going to be talking too much about grades, points, percentages, except for about right here throughout this course. So you, to earn an A for any particular bundle, and I'll show you this in Blackboard in just a second, right? And this will make sense later. Efforts exceed expectation, no more than 2 absences. Give a way of getting around that a little bit later on. And the final exam is going to get a grade status of at least efforts exceeding expectations, right? And you can go through and see what a B grade is, a C grade is, a D grade. And what I'm basically pointing out here is at the end of the semester, that's what your grade will be. But other than that, we're not going to talk about A's, B's, C's, and D's. Those really have no meaning in the real world except for your transcripts, which are important, but within our course, they're not important. Take a deep breath. I know you're probably freaking out, but it'll make sense as we go forward. Let's go through the course, and then I will talk later about this concept here: effort, dedication, and character money, because that's a way of helping you ensure your success in this course beyond doing the coursework. So what do I mean by bundled courses? So as you see here, the first bundle is titled Out of the Carnage of the Civil War, Reconstruction 1863 to 1877. The second bundle is Bundle 2, Native American Dominance in the American West and the Anglo Conquest and Colonization of the West. Bundle 3, the Industrial Revolution, capital dominates labor and labor organizes, and America expands into its empire overseas, the Spanish-American War. Bundle 4, the Progressive Era in World War I, America begins to become a world power. Bundle 5, the 1920s, decadence and collapse of society and economy and recovery, the New Deal. And Bundle 6, the world descends into madness, World War II and the Cold War. And then finally, the final exam. Won't talk too much about the final exam in this orientation. The prompt is actually available in the syllabus. Once the course is open to you, you can take a look at that. But we'll go over the final exam later in the semester to make sure I'm not over inundating you, right? So let's just take a look at bundle 1 to see how this works. So making sure everything is opened up. You've got the schedule right here, which I'll show you in just a little bit. First bundle, bundle 1.1 is What is Freedom? Make sure that is opened up for you. Bundle 1.2, Elections from 1860 to 1877. Pretty interesting stuff. It gives you an overview about, there's highlighting each of the elections. There's little 5-minute videos that there's a teacher, his name is Hip Hughes, YouTuber, that explains the candidates, the major issues of those elections, who won, what were the parties involved in, all of that kind of stuff. And then each bundle will have what are referred to basically these lectures. They're optional for review, as it states there. And I'll point that out in just a second. And each bundle concludes with a bundle 1 short answer assessment, right? So let's just take a look briefly. Let's take a look at the schedule real quick. So bundle 1, Out of the Carnage of the Civil War, Reconstruction, 1863 to 1877. One thing you want to keep in mind is remember that all due dates are flexible, right? With a little caveat, which I'll explain in a second. And you can submit the assignments after the due date, right? That's what that means. However, to maintain, this is the caveat, access to the course, you must earn a status of efforts are reaching expectations by February 9th. If you do not achieve that status by February 9th, you will be required to withdraw from the course, right? So this is just to make sure, to ensure that you succeed in this course, that you don't get caught up by the end of the semester with a whole bunch of assignments to do, and you end up doing them, and despite your best efforts at the end of the semester, you still fail the course, right? I see that time and time again. This is a way to keep you on track, right? So what that means, efforts are reaching expectations. As far as a percentage, we're talking about 65% of the bundled grade. So a minimal effort. And so if you're not being consistent within this course, right, that's telling me something that, and should be telling you something, that this is not the right place nor the right time for you in this course, right? So very, let me put it this way, achievable thing to do if you are logging in to Blackboard, preparing and completing the assignments with some minimal effort, and attending class. Right. So the first assignment for bundle 1 is the orientation exam. Again, I'm going to send out some questions within Pronto. You could respond to them and send me a direct message within Pronto, and you could be exempt from that orientation exam. And that is going to be due January 24th. And you want to complete that as soon as possible, because bundle 1, the bundle that we're talking about, will be locked until you complete the orientation exam with a status of effort noticed, which is roughly about an 80%, right? So I'm going to talk about, if you submit it early, and complete it, as well as if you send me a direct message completing the questions I'll send you, by January 23rd, right, you're going to receive what are referred to as 5 EDCMs, which is effort, dedication, and character money, right? So you'll receive something that looks like a $5 bill. So I don't know if you can see this in the little square, but right here I have the Bank of Mr. Kennedy. And in my bank, I've got money, 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 man. And so if you complete it early, you want to come to my office, and you'll get one of these, $5, right? What do you do with that $5? I'll explain that in a little bit. But to give you a general answer, you could have for a certain amount of EDCMs, you can have absences excused. You can be able to retake certain assessments or assignments. You can be exempt from certain assessments. And I'll explain this in more detail. And ultimately, I'll tell you something specific here, if you save up and you keep earning these opportunities for these EDCMs, and you earn $1,000 over the course of the semester, you could be exempt from the final exam. So I'll give you details on that in just a little bit. But you'll notice that not all of the assignments, but most of the assignments will have a due date, right? And again, the due date is soft. All that due date will do is just the assignment will be applied to your grade, right? And so you'll have an idea of what you're earning. So if you don't do the assignment by January 31st, that zero that you earn will be applied to your grade. And if you do the assignment, obviously before or after January 31st, that assignment will be applied to your grade. And to get to earn the EDCM, if you submit it by January 30th, you come to my office to confirm it, you will get $5, right? And so on and so forth. So all of them indicate their due dates for redemption. And then down here, understand to get that redemption, you have to at least get what's referred to as an efforts noticed on the assignment, right? And that's true for any assignment that you're trying to redeem that you've submitted early for these EDCMs. Okay. So that's the schedule. So you'll begin once you have access to Bundle 1 with Bundle 1.1, What is Freedom? Reconstruction. So you'll open this up and let me make sure in real time that I open all of this up for you. This is just what happens when we copy courses to the live course. Everything gets hidden. So if you see anything hidden that should be open, let me know. And I will open it for you if it's appropriate. But everything should be open that you are qualified to access for. So you'll just begin with, again, Bundle 1, open it up, then you will go to the meaning of freedom. You'll click here. And the course will open up, the assignment will open up, and you can go here and begin by
Chapter 15. What is
listening to this chapter. There's a series of questions. These little dots right here are multiple choice questions that you're going to respond to. While you listen to it, I would encourage you to perhaps read it as well. There is a glossary right here for your reference for some of the terms that might come up in here. And then you'll want to complete this quiz here and drag the words. These assignments, not all the assignments in this course are, but these assignments, you have unlimited attempts. So if you're not happy with your status, not grade, status, and I'll explain what the various statuses are in a little bit, you can retake it. Okay, so let's say you complete that. Make sure that when you do finish the interactive video, the quiz, and the drag the words, you go right here, summary and submit. And you click submit your report, right? If you don't do that, it will not save it. So be aware of that. And when you're finished with that one, you'll go here. And just to show you what it looks like, let's start. Take note of these learning objectives. They're going to help you with the short answer assessment. So as you are listening and or reading to the text or the video, it's good to take notes based on the learning objectives. right? That'll help you identify specific examples that are necessary to respond to the short answer assessment prompts that are that conclude this bundle, right? So basically these are study guides as you go through. But other than that, it's the same song and dance that I showed you before, right? Here's the course. It's about a 12-minute video. There's the text down below. There's the quiz. There's the drag the words. Again, you're going to respond to the questions, these little dots right here, by clicking play here. Click this play, not this play, to initiate, otherwise it won't
Chapter
work.
15, part.
Right. And once you're done, make sure you click summary and submit, and then submit. And so on and so forth, right? So you go through these various assignments. You take the quiz, this quiz right here, this one, which is a quiz which assesses you for all of this material here. The due date's right there, January 30th. Everything in here is due January 31st within this sub bundle, right? What is freedom? So this is going to look different on your end. I'm in instructor mode right now, but there'll be 10 questions that you'll complete. You'll have 20 minutes to do it, right? And you'll go from there. Now, down below here, notice how it says practice. What is freedom reconstruction for bundle 1 exam, short answer exam? I'm not going to, please take this. Basically, it's a study guide. It'll give you some of the questions that might show up on the short answer assessment that are short answers, and I'll explain the expectations of that a little bit later, from each of the sub bundles, right? So this is sub bundle 1.1, this is sub bundle 1.2, and that's what the bundle 1 short answer assessment will assess you for, right? So once you complete bundle 1.1, you're going to want to go through these videos here. Oops. And these videos here, just to go through, they're a little 5, sometimes no longer than 10 minutes, go through the various issues of each of these elections. It's pretty interesting. There's a quiz available right here. And there is another practice short answer assessment. Again, it's going to give you some of the prompts that you can take a look at to help you prepare for the bundle short answer assessment. And then go from there. The optional review. Let's open this up, take a look at this, make sure everything is open. Right, and this is basically going over Reconstruction. It's optional. You don't have to do it. If you do complete these little interactive books, this is something that most likely we'll cover in class, Reconstruction. This is a lecture on Reconstruction. So you'll go here. There's basically the study guide, right? And this is a video that's produced by
Hey everybody,
me from many years earlier. You can tell my hair is a little bit shorter there, right? Again, not required, optional. We'll go over this in, most likely in class in the coming weeks. But you do get some extra credit, and most notably, if you complete 1, 2, 3, and 4 with with at least an effort noticed, you get 50 of these out of the bank, right? You get one of these. Do I have a 50 in here? No. Oh yeah. You get one of these, 50 of these, right? To save up and to perhaps spend when needed. I'll explain how you do that in just a little bit. So again, what I just pointed out for the lecture, it's optional. You don't have to do it. It's nice though if you do it, because then you could review and have an idea of what we're talking about when we cover Reconstruction in class. So Bundle 1 short answer assessment. Let's take a look at that. So again, it's going to look a little bit different on your end because I'm in instructor mode, but let's read through this. Short answer, response, directions, and expectations. When responding to short answer prompts, it is crucial to provide a clear, concise, and accurate answer that directly addresses the question being asked. Your response should demonstrate a thorough understanding of the assigned material by incorporating, this is key, specific and relevant details. So what does that look like? What is that? Well, let me explain what that doesn't look like, right? So you might be asked, explain presidential reconstruction, right? So a general response would be presidential reconstruction was when the executive branch took over the process of reconstruction to bring the states back, the seceded states back into the Union during Lincoln and Johnson's administration. That's a correct response, but a pretty general response. A more thorough response would be presidential reconstruction was everything I just said, right? The process of bringing the seceded states back into the Union under the executive branch, both under President Abraham Lincoln and President Andrew Johnson during the years 1865 to about 1867, 68. A more thorough response would also include Lincoln's justification for bringing the states. He wanted to implement what was referred to as the 10% plan, right? So 10% of the states signed a loyalty oath to the Union, the eligible voters from 1860, and ratified the 13th Amendment, the amendment that abolished slavery. And maybe you explain why Lincoln wanted to have this lenient process to bring these states back into the Union. He didn't want another civil war to happen. He wanted the Union to be preserved, right? I'm not going to go into too specific examples for purposes of time, but you get the point. And grab examples and details from the assigned lectures, from the assigned interactive books. In other words, the content from the bundle, right? It will be noticed when I grade your assessment. Okay, so where were we? These details could include dates, events, key individuals, geographical locations, right? And an explanation of the significance of the topic to broader context of the course. Aim to write a minimum of 5 to 7 sentences that includes those details. And so that adequately convey your understanding and support your answers with evidence, right? In other words, what I just talked about, examples, details, dates, relevant individuals, geography, right? Responses that lack sufficient details or fail to reference the assigned content may receive a failing grade or a grade lower than something that'll get you to the next bundle. Important note, you don't want to, for most cases, you won't be able to upload any documents, but if you are, and if you do, you'll receive a 0 on the assignment. You'll type your response in real time during this proctored exam using Honor Lock. You can use your notes. It is open note, so take notes, and you can use as many notes as you want. So after your initial attempt, a general response will be, so listen to this. After your initial attempt, a general response will be provided to you to review. So when you go back to your first attempt, you will notice that there will be a general response. Please note that that general response will not include specific examples, or if it does, it'll be a minimal amount of specific examples from the assigned material. It is essential to incorporate specific references and evidence from the assigned content to earn a sufficient grade on this assessment. So, in other words, the response you get is going to be generally a sufficient response, but not effort noticed or exceeding expectations for your bundled grade. So if you successfully complete all the assignments, including the sum bundle before the specified deadline of February 7th and achieve an efforts notice or higher, I encourage you to come visit my office. Upon doing so, you will be awarded 30 of those EDCMs as a recognition of your hard work. Please note that it is essential to collect your EDCMs reward before the due date. Otherwise, you will forfeit your reward. So you got to be proactive on this, in other words. And make sure you save them, right? Put them in a wallet and a bag. Make sure that you don't lose them, because I'm not going to keep a record of this. It's on you to keep track of this and to save it and keep it safe, right? Don't lose it. Okay. So what am I talking? So that's basically a bundle, and it's the same song and dance for each bundle. So I won't go through each bundle. But what am I talking about when it comes to these? Let's get specific about these EDCMs throughout the semester. So you click that link that's within the Start Here folder, and this is something that you will find there, right? So this is how you earn these EDCMs. Come to class, right, on time, and you will receive $2, and that one you will get during class, right? So some of these you will get during class, some of these require you to come to my office to receive these. So you must arrive on time, and there might be some days where I will be a little more generous and give you more than 2 of these EDCMs. Staying for the entire class, right? So I get it if you have to go do something, right? Have to go to the bathroom, have to take a text, right? You'll as you're leaving class, when class is over, I will hand you 2 of these EDCMs, right? But if you leave class for any reason, you will have to give your EDCMs back to me, right? So that means when you enter class, you'll get $2. If you leave for any reason whatsoever, before you leave, you got to give me your $2 back, right? All right, so sometimes we'll be doing in-class work, and that could range, and this is another one that you'll get during class. That could range from anywhere from 1 to 5 of these EDCMs. Could be more depending on what we're doing. Completing a bundle quiz short answer assessment early. This is where you will come to my office to verify this. And for bundled quizzes, so let me go back to the course. When I'm referring to bundled quizzes, bundle 1, so the quizzes that conclude the bundle. So what is this quiz right here? If you complete that one early and earn at least an effort noticed, you will get, as it says right here, $5. And the short answer assessment at the end of the bundle, this assignment right here, if you complete it early, you get 30 EDCMs. Okay, so, and there's no limit to this. Some of these have limits, but there's no limit to the amount of the currency you can earn for submitting these things early. And again, they must be redeemed prior to the due dates in an instructor's office. And you must earn at least an effort noticed. I won't go into detail here, but you'll have opportunity to do presentations in class. They're not required, but if you'd like to do a presentation, come talk to me. I'll post, I'll have this hyperlinked with an explanation of what this is, but this could be it could be a presentation on a particular interactive book. It could be a presentation on an election. There's a variety of opportunities of how you could do this, but you can earn up to, depending on the quality of your presentation, up to 50 EDCMs, right? So you can do these at least 1 per week, given, unless we're doing something during that week, maybe, and this is something you want to prearrange this prior to doing the presentation, obviously, to make sure, and we'll arrange a day when you'll do it and all of that, right? But see the instructor at least 1 week prior to receive the assignment. Preparation and presentation can be done with a partner. Make sure the partner knows they're a partner. Limit 1 per week, and depending on the course schedule, presentations do not apply to any bundled grade, right? So you're not getting a grade for this. And earning depends on the quality of the standards of the presentation, but you do earn this currency. Now, this can be transferred to earning a better grade, which I'll explain in just a little bit here. Teaching K through 12 or an STC class, right? Up to 75. Again, see instructor, and then the little caveat here is that if you are teaching, and again, I'll give a lot more detail to this if it's something you're interested in, has to be filmed so it can be verified, right? I go on a lot of walks, so if you ever want to go on a walk with me, come talk to me, ask me when I'm taking a walk, and then you can earn up to 20 of these EDCMs per mile, right? So make sure you got your wearable on you to make sure I'm being honest. Outside the textbook assignments, you can earn up to 25 of these EDCMs. And what is that? Well, I won't go into detail of that, but where can you locate that? Right here. So you click here. There's a variety of assignments in here. Complete that, and you can come to my office to verify it, that you completed it and earned at least an effort notice, and you will get up to 25 based on your performance. And in my class, you're going to notice there's a little coffee station. No, I supply all of it. But if you happen to notice that, hey, we're getting low on cups, and you bring in some cups, we're getting low on sugar, and you bring in some sugar, let me know. And depending on what you bring, you can earn up to 5 to 75, right? And then there's a limit. You can only earn up to 75 throughout the semester. No expectations on doing that, but if you notice something a little bit low, go ahead and bring in something. So what do you do with all of these EDCMs? Okay, so attendance flexibility. So if you don't come to class, no need to tell me why you didn't come to class, whether you were deathly sick, you had to attend to someone in your family, your car didn't work. By the way, look up a bus schedule. There's pretty vibrant bus schedule here. But anyway, it doesn't matter. You're not here. So I don't play. You don't have to give me a doctor's notice. But yeah, this is kind of troublesome because I get it. Sometimes you just can't come to class because it's out of your control, or you just didn't feel like it, or whatever the case may be. You can get out of that by giving me 30 of your EDCMs, right? And again, what does that stand for? Effort, dedication, and character money, right? So, and you're limited to 5 per this semester, right? So, if you're absent 5, that would you would just give me, for each absent, you give me $30, right? 30 of these EDCMs. What else can you do? So each bundle quiz, you got 2 attempts, but if you needed to retake it because you weren't satisfied with your grade, come to my office. I'll make it beyond the 2 attempts that are already available to you. Give me 25 of those EDCMs, and I'll give you another attempt. Short answer assessments, the assessments that conclude each of the bundles, 75, right? And you could do the quizzes up to 5 throughout the semester, and for the short answer assessments, up to 3. Now, if you want to be exempt from a bundle quiz, right, meaning that it won't count against your grade, pay me 50, and you can do this up to fix that, up to 3 times. If you want to get out of a short answer assessment, again, the assessment that concludes the bundle, no problem. Pay me 100 EDCMs. That's your first one. Your second one would be 250 EDCMs. So there is a final exam. And if you don't want to do the final exam, well, then be very hesitant or just not hesitant, but be mindful about how you spend your money. And if you think, you know what, I don't want to have to worry about too much at the end of the semester, so I don't want to do the final exam, save your EDCMs and you can pay me 1,000 of them. So that's why you want to save them. Make sure they're safe, and you will be exempt from the final exam. Okay. Cell phone policy, strictly prohibited during class, right? Unless explicitly instructed by the teacher, right? So sometimes, very rarely, will I say, bring out your phones. And this, cell phones or any device. No laptops, nothing, right? They're great tools, but it has done great harm to our state of mind. It has made us incredibly distracted, including me, right? Including everybody. We are a distracted society. So let's use our class time as just a practice to be without electronics, right? If you do use it, you're going to have to pay me 20 of your EDCMs. If you don't have them, then you're going into debt, right? So keep that in mind. This policy is in place to minimize distractions and maximize learning, because that is the point, right? Repeated violations basically can result in further deductions. Give me more of your money, in other words. If you do have an emergency, if you do need to take a call, give me your $2. Anytime you leave the class, you got to give me your $2 that you receive as you enter class. But you can take it outside of class, right? So keep that all in mind. Let me know if you have any questions about all of that. I know this is all crazy. You probably have never had a course like this, but it is the way it is. But I think it'll be a lot of fun, right? This is going to be an interesting course. This is a course covering, again, as said, from Reconstruction, so from basically the mid-1860s to the Vietnam War, which is up until about the early 1970s. There's a lot to this course. There's a lot, Reconstruction. We've got industrialization. We got the labor movement. We've got the Progressive Era. We've got the 1920s, the Great Depression, World War I, World War II, the Cold War. If we had to distill the two items, one second, let me open up. So, if we had to distill all of what I just talked about, Reconstruction to the Vietnam War, down to two basic concepts of what this course is going to be examining. It's basically the tension between what's referred to as capital and labor, right? What do we mean by capital? The business class, people with extraordinary amount of wealth. What is wealth? Wealth is power, right? Versus labor, right? People who earn wages. And this is a common theme throughout U.S. history. And let's make sure we understand that. We're talking about actual human beings. So during the industrial age, you'll see names like Carnegie, Rockefeller, the so-called robber barons, people with extraordinary wealth, extraordinary influence, people who were buying elections and having laws that served their interest at the expense of the interest of the people working in factories and farms and within the service industry and the managerial class as well, the bureaucrats that worked for these giant corporations. And it made life incredibly difficult, right? And so you'll see these ebbs and flows throughout U.S. history, and it seems to be very cyclical, right? And so following Reconstruction, you're seeing the Industrial Revolution and people being just grounded out, working 7 days a week, 12, 14, 16 hours a day for wages that did not pay the bills. Sound familiar? Maybe you're not working those many hours, but the concept of not being able to pay the bills despite how long you're working, how much you're working, how hard you're working, right, is very much still with us today, unfortunately. You'll see periods of reform. So one reform that we'll be looking at is the Progressive Era, where people took a look at, well, where can we find the balance between, obviously, that's the American way. You should be able to benefit from the fruits of your labor, in business, right? So if you own a business, you should receive profit from that, right? But the question comes up, well, so too should the people who work in those jobs. They should benefit from their labor, receive the fruits of their labor. And then the question becomes, well, how much? How much should we take away from the capital class and make sure that the labor class has it? And you get into questions of how much does this get in the way of incentives for those who are in business, and how much does this give incentive for people in labor to be further productive for those in business, and to feel like we are part of a national community, right? And really, this distills, despite issues of race or gender, nationality, religion, keep in mind what we're talking about here is the tension between the rich and the poor. And this is not unique to the United States of America. This is a common thread throughout civilized history going back at least 6,000 years. What you just see in U.S. history is the manifestation of how it plays out in American history. So with that said, thank you for bearing witness to this orientation. I hope it is helpful. Do let me know if you have any questions. It's a weird class. I get that, but I think you guys are going to be quite empowered. You're going to know how to earn an A in this course, a B, a C, a D, right? Won't talk about the grade down below as far as your final grade at the end of the semester. But do let me know if you have any questions, and there will be plenty of time for us to talk about that throughout the semester. I'm very much open to my office, to you guys coming to my office. I'm available through Pronto most times that I'm not in my office and outside of class. And so do get a hold of me there. Yeah. One caveat about communication, again, only contact me through Pronto. I can explain later in class why that's important. But if I don't get back to you within 24 hours, I usually get back much sooner than that, but something went wrong on my end, don't hesitate to reach out to me again. I won't find it rude or pushy. Other than that, we'll leave it here. This is quite a long video, so thank you for your patience. And man, do I look forward to meeting all of you guys. So hopefully the winter storm that we're about to receive won't be too bad, and we actually do meet this Tuesday, but if not, most likely we'll meet on Thursday. Make sure you're paying attention to your email. The college will let you know if we're meeting or not. Feel free to reach out to me. I'll know. So if you want to confirm that, and I will post announcements in Pronto. Take care, guys. Looking forward to meeting you.